have Wilfredo Morel. Wilfredo Morel is a very well-known local artist and patron of the arts, and advocate of the arts in our community. And I'll say that he's another local celebrity in his own right. I'm very impressed with him. He's got a tremendously positive energy. He's very involved in the preservation company. He's very involved in this Martin Luther King commemoration. I've had the blessing of speaking to him at length about himself and how he actually came to this point. But what's unique about Wilfredo is that he was actually a client of the preservation company. So Wilfredo, thank you for being on.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
I always love being in your energy field. You know, you're a real positive person, and I know you can tell the audience, or tell me actually, just what it was like to be a client of the preservation company. How did you end up there?
Well, how it ended up there was, as always, we always have these dreams of having, having your own home, having your own space.
Yes.
And that was something that I wanted for many years, especially, having a place where I can call home. Yes. And that it will really put me place me into something more permanent. Yes. And I thought about a home, but I never thought how basically to go about it, especially when your credit after college and all that, as you know, yes, how bad it could be. You will never believe how hard it could be, especially having a bad credit, being concerned about the money that you owe, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that it was one day where the preservation company was doing, putting a call for workshops, how to own, what it is to be a homeowner, and to go about it. And I went one day, and I remember going to one of their counselors and asking, listen, this is what I do, this is what I make, and I really would like to have a home. Yeah. And from there, that whole journey started. Yeah. And one thing that I had to say is that, as many of us, we think that things happen immediately. Yeah. It was at least that I can remember a couple of years.
Wow, but so it's a process.
It's a process. It's a process, because when they talk about really teaching you the trade and really what it is to be a homeowner, it is something that you had to take seriously. Yeah. So they said, do you have time to really learn? Yeah. And be able to, to pursue this? And I said, I'll make the time. And from there we went. So
how was the process for you? It sounds like it was a tremendous education. And the feeling I'm getting is that there was a discipline involved.
There was a discipline in terms of how to manage your money. Yes. How to save money and know that that money is there for a purpose. Then from there, it is also what comes within the house, and is the repair. Yeah. And then it is basically having a cushion with that. Yeah. And the other thing is about maintaining. Even though you have a home, it doesn't mean that now you got to maintain a bad record in terms of credits, but it is how to maintain a good record, clean, and being able basically to be responsible. Yeah. So it teaches you something that I don't think that you will learn in school unless you become an economist or anything like that. Yeah. So within the preservation, it was really the learning as to how to really be a true homeowner, and how to maintain it and how to keep it.
So, I can hear that, and I think the audience should know that this is not just a handout. This is an enabling and empowering. It's not a handout, which I'm hearing from interviewing different people, that the preservation is really doing, I would say, their due diligence in really helping people to move forward, because no one really wants to be, taken care of that way. You want to be able to take care of yourself. Now, I want to ask you about your tie to the arts and your tie to the preservation company and Martin Luther King. Like, what do you see as your tie to the preservation company and the arts? Because the artists are definitely involved in this committee. It's a committee of artists.
When I think that everything started from the point of view of learning about the preservation, receiving the help and the support, and then wanting to wanting to want that experience for the rest of the other people in our community.
Yes.
And as much as I love my community in general, there is the other community of artists in which I'm part of.
Yes.
And as you know, in the art world, it's like, we do art and all that, and we always trying to find where is our own space.
Yeah.
And whether the space is the piece of art that we do. But you know what? Artists also have needs, like everybody else.
Yes.
Artists, basically, what they call a starving artist, basically are always seeking resources, but very, very not much connected, but always from the outside. So with the experience and the opportunity that I had, basically through the preservation, I really wanted to tell the story.
Yeah.
And how best to tell the story by having the people experiencing it themselves.
Yes.
So it happened also that later on, after having my beautiful home that I still have today,
which is nice,
had a few of my friends, artists, who came with similar situation, but not in the sense of buying a house, but also in maintaining their affordable apartment, or looking for an affordable apartment where they can definitely be able to make it with the type of budget that they had.
Right.
And it was the few of us that went through that experience that then one day I mentioned, I was invited to be part of the planning for the Martin Luther King event. And Jeanette Phillips, Mrs. Phillips, who is the executive director of the preservation, had made the call and said, well, how would you like to be in the planning? So from there, I was totally delighted to do that. In that, of course, I was like, well, what can I do? And how can I do this? Because I'm in the healthcare, I'm within the community, but this was a whole different ballgame. And how it was in the integration of bringing the arts.
Yes.
And as an artist, it was bringing other artists basically to kind of pay respect and really acknowledge, that this is something that definitely is serving a purpose to all of us. Right. And that was, that was something that worked it out.
You're very much, one of the people that's one of the anchors in this community with regard to the arts. You're so well known, you have this gallery space, and you do engage in the business of your art. And at the same time, you've been able to do that and actually establish yourself as a homeowner and just stay engaged. You told me yesterday that you had 3 projects going. I'm going to stop complaining about everything I have to do, about all the projects I have, because you're working on 12 of them. And that's very hard to do. I would imagine it's challenging to have all that stuff in one mind space.
That's right.
But yet you've taken on this. So what is your passion with regard to what you do, and what do you see as your link to the legacy of Martin Luther King and your artistry?
I'm always thinking about integration of the masses, regardless the discipline. And I think that one thing that I had to say about the preservation and the planning group is that it's a very diverse, not in the sense of the word of ethnicity, but in the sense of the word of talent.
Yeah.
And I had to say that for the past, that I can remember, Mrs. Phillip may correct me with this, for the past 5 years, we have been integrating the arts, and now more so than ever. And we keep inviting. Because when it comes to the legacy, the legacy of Martin Luther King, when it comes to his passion in terms of justice and equality for all, I think that having a home is your whole health, is your whole being.
Yes.
If you don't have a home, if you don't have a shelter over your roof, it's really that whole foundation, that whole basic.
Yes.
And what is great about it is that we're moving right along. We're assisting in helping, with the movement. Each year that we do it, we bring more people to the, to this walk, and it only gets better. And what I like to notify of artists, wannabe artists, people who think that they are, but they are afraid of, come. And because after all, it's really using art in a whole different way.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's really using it in a whole different way.
It gives an additional purpose to it.
Definitely.
It does.
Definitely.
You know, so I can see that you do carry the legacy with you, within you, and I think that's a beautiful thing. So I'll ask you, I don't just put you on the spot, what will you be doing, you know, for the commemoration? Will you be presenting any art, or will you be basically galvanizing the artists?
I am doing both.
Okay.
You know, last year we had 23 artists. Among them, there were performing artists.
Yes.
It was a great dynamic show. We were able to really transform our space into a gallery. This year we're doing that. I mean, next year we're doing that, but also we're bringing the music.
Okay.
Last year was it was looking at Martin Luther King legacy through the visual arts and dance. Next year is through the music, but now we're combining the music with the with the visual art. In addition to that, last year a lot of the artists were expecting. So, Wilfredo, what did you bring? What did you bring in addition of bringing the people? I couldn't at that time because last year was really important to bring outreach as many artists. This year I'm doing both. We are reaching more artists, and the other artists I had to say, and this is nothing bad to Westchester because we do have majorities are Westchester, but that now we have going to Rockland, Orange, Ulster, and Dutchess County in terms of the artist representation. I will be making a sculpture. As to what it is, like other artists said, I'm just going to wait for the spirit and the
it's when the spirit moves through you, then you just take a hold of it.
Exactly, but I am doing that outreach piece and also a sculpture.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for being on this show and interviewing with me. I appreciate it. I look forward to talking to you more.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. It's Wilfredo Morel, everybody. The Martin Luther King Commemoration Dinner is an annual event. It happens on January 20th. I hope that everybody will actually participate by actually joining in, coming and being a guest, buy a ticket, you know, come and enjoy all of the art, all of the performing art. This is really for a very good purpose. A lot of things will actually happen as a result of this particular fundraiser, this annual fundraiser. I see that it's a fundraiser that is building. I'm very honored to be on the committee myself and working with wonderful artists and people and business people. So please come, bring yourself, bring your family, and just enjoy a wonderful evening that's about a man that's a legend, that his dream goes on. We want it to continue. Thank you.